Hi folks, this is just me sitting and talking about gaming generally on the PC. Let's start off with news that the Fallout movie is definitely going ahead. News is all over YouTube right now that apparently after 2 years they've actually entered production. And apparently Amazon have picked up the tab. So it'll be an Amazon exclusive probably, and Fallout will be a TV series at least on their Prime probably system. So, but the people that have taken up apparently the people that did Westworld. So the group that did Westworld are now doing Fallout. So that should be interesting to see where they go with it. But Fallout has a massive amount of potential. I mean, if you think of The Walking Dead, that is basically a tiny portion. It's about that much story compared to what could be in Fallout. Fallout is up here. The potential for stories and stuff is massively better. Apparently, Todd Howard himself is involved in it as well. And they've already picking out stars. They've named other stars that will be involved in it, and actors and actresses and stuff. So, yeah, I for one are interested because I think it'd be good. I think it'd be good TV myself. Um, Other news, I've been hearing that London, their modders are being hired by Bethesda, been taken on to work on Fallout 76. So, I mean, don't get me wrong, if you were to hire somebody out of the blue, you didn't know what they could do, you'd stick them on a project that's already established itself. And I think that's what they've done, right? Some of them have chosen to stay with Fallout London rather than see it through rather than accept the offer. But others have accepted it. Apparently, the second one has joined Bethesda UK anyway. So there's other news for you. That's it's online. You can go searching for it for more details if you want. Also, Total War 3, Warhammer, or Total War Warhammer 3, they're finally talking about start points that don't involve making and repeating the mistakes of Total War 1. What do I mean by that? Total War 1 was very limited, narrow minded, and quite frankly, fucking shit. Pardon my French, but it was. Right, and instead of fixing the game, they made Total War 2 to fix it. So you ended up having to own two games to see the fix, which was quite frankly cheeky. But they did let us use the same DLCs between both games. So I guess it's still bloody cheeky. But then they made Total War 3 and repeated the mistake of Total War 1, and now they're just getting around to fixing it. So, do I trust them? No, I don't. Anybody that failed to recognise the mistakes of the past and repeats them isn't worth trusting. However, they are getting around to fixing it now. So if we do a quick look now on Steam just to see what Total War 3 got, or Warhammer 3, there we go. Total War Warhammer 3, currently about £45. Best reviews, current and recent, are both mixed. That tells me that we should just give it a miss. So right now, without all the improvements, before they've added all the changes, nobody seems to be that impressed by it. However, the multiple start points, be able to play where you want, that's basically Mortal Empires and stuff like that. That's what people are waiting for. That's what they should have delivered when they released it back in, when was it? February 7th, 2022. They're finally getting around to do that now. I mean, people might not like me giving a straight as an arrow, honest reply to these things, but let's face it, we're all thinking it. Most of us are thinking it, only the fanboys aren't. And anybody that's either a massive hater or a massive lover of the game can safely be ignored because they're not being reasonable. Only the votes between 2 and 4, out of 1 out of 5, are worth listening to, in my opinion. In this case, the mixed result is absolutely correct. So hopefully, once they release the extra features where you can join other factions and start in different places, the game will be massively better. Until then, though, it's just a mixed result, probably best avoided. I would say though that I mean, looking at the various things, I mean, it's just the same old game anyway, but with a slightly different rework in places and slightly different changes. So, is it worth buying 3 versus 2? That's to be decided. But if they decide we have to pay for every new race we have to play, I would say stick with 2. It's cheaper because they are taking the mick if they do that. Although, to be honest, I wouldn't mind paying for a few DLCs that really add to the game. But when they release a pathetic game to start with, it's up to them to fix it before I start paying for DLCs. Because I'm not going to pay for DLC to make a bad game good. I will leave the game alone rather than pay for it in them circumstances. The game has to be good before I start paying for DLCs. And that's the problem with Total War right now. The game isn't good, so I'm not paying for it until they decide to actually make it worthwhile. With that in mind, if you go to Microsoft Game Pass, you can play Total War right now for I think it's £7.99 a month. Right, it says without buying it. Now, since the game is £45, you work out how many months you could pay that before you've actually hit the amount of money they charge for that game. So if you want to play it, go the Game Pass route, it's cheaper, right? I've already got it installed. I haven't tried it yet, but it's already installed somewhere. Actually, no, it's not installed. Oh, there's an error, apparently. Typical, that, isn't it? An error installing the game at 36%. In fact, the whole thing seems to have crashed. Oh my god, it's bombing out. What can we do? There we go, it's starting again. But I should have waited the first time. I tried to install that about a month ago, so why is it only doing it now? Anyway, Game Pass is the better option. Just thought I'd put that out there. I'll leave that there for now, and I'll see you in the next one.